So it's right after a storm and you need to know, is my roof in need of a tarp? So I want to cover number one, which is the big one. Obviously, if a tree goes through your house, your decking's cracked, you have rafter damage, that's a no-brainer, right? Get a tree company out there, pull the tree away, get them to tarp it as soon as possible. But I want to go into a couple other things that also need to be tarped that may not be as obvious. So when you talk about shingles being missing or torn off the roof, there's a couple scenarios where you may need to go ahead and get the roof tarped. What does that look like? So if your roof is probably in the 10 to 20 year range and it's made from shingles, then you probably have asphalt paper underneath your shingles. And that is very susceptible to water being soaked up in it and leading to leaks. That's a scenario where you probably want to have the roof tarped. So exposed paper felt means you need a tarp. Now, that's field shingles where it's out on the middle of the slope. There's other shingles on your roof called hip and ridge shingles, which are installed on your hips where your slopes meet on an outward angle, and also on your ridges, which is that peak along the top of your roof where a ridge vent can also be installed, and then the ridge shingles will be installed on top of those ridge vent. If you don't have ridge vent and it's just a line of shingles, then it's just the shingles that are going on top of over the plywood. So if those are missing, and if your roof was not installed properly where the felt actually overlaps the hip or overlaps the ridge, then now it's wide open. I'm actually going to put a picture up to where you can see an example of during the build they didn't felt over the ridges. So when those ridge shingles blew off, now he had a huge gap and it was wide open for rain to enter the home. When a roof is installed properly and the felt overlaps the hips, you're going to be a little bit better protected, but if it's still paper felt, I would recommend having the roof tarped until the repairs can be made. And then the third scenario you're going to want to have something tarped is when your components break or if they're damaged. Just had a scenario where there was a pretty bad hailstorm that came through my local area. There was leaks that were coming in from the skylight, and when I went up there, well, I didn't see that it was just completely broken or there were holes in the skylight. It cracked, so the seals around the skylight were now susceptible to water and rain getting in the home. So when components like that fail after a storm, that's grounds for needing it to be tarped until proper repairs can be made. If it's something that's just the components and the shingles are in good shape, my advice is obviously to try and tarp as little as possible. That way you only have to replace just the surrounding shingles. If it's a big storm and there's a lot of sporadic damage to the roof, what you may want to opt to do is tarp that area, wait till the coverage decision can be made, and then look into everything that needs to be repaired. The good news is whenever somebody's tarping, they should use synthetic felt, and even your low-grade synthetic felt is 90-day UV protection, so it can technically sit up there for 3 months until repairs can be made. I hope that helps when you step outside, look at your roof after a storm, and you're thinking to myself, is that something that needs to be immediately addressed? Thanks for watching.